All right, you are now tuned in to the Rotated Views podcast. I am your host, Jimmylee Velez. I am here with Gabe, Goose, and Heck around the horn. In this episode, the crew covers topics that range from personal/professional life, family matters, current events, future goals/initiatives, and much more. We wrap the episode up with quotes from Susan Fales-Hill and Martin Luther King Jr. Guys, if you're new, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to download and subscribe. We drop a new episode every Tuesday morning for your listening pleasure. Kicking things off, gentlemen.
Welcome.
Super fun, hang loose, calling it around the horn. Everyone's going to kind of give a current update on what's going on with them, their lives, a little brief background, and then we'll jump into some, pretty basic questions, but should add value and entertainment for the listeners. So, with that being said, Gabe, we'll start with you. Who are you and what do you do?
Gabe, I work at a hospital in Philadelphia. I do help like administration, clerical, like a mixture of different things at a hospital, major hospital in Philadelphia.
And he is our infamous IT guy.
Well, that too.
With podcast. All right, Goose, you're up. Who are you? What do you do?
Oh, you probably heard my name a million times on this on our podcast. My name is Miguel from Miguel's Riverside Barbershop. I have a 14-year-old daughter, about to get married in a month, and yeah, I just own the barbershop and I just work my butt off.
Awesome. All right, we'll get into more details with everyone, but just a brief. So, Heck, who are you and what do you do?
What up? I'm Heck. You guys, like Goose said, you've heard me a million times. I've been on these episodes, you know what I'm saying? I'm not the funny guy, but I'm the cool guy here. I work for the state of New Jersey. I have everyone knows me as having 15 kids, you know what I mean?
And counting.
I'm the IT guy at the state of New Jersey. I'll build your computer and install your software for you. So let me know.
Awesome. I'm Jimmylee, host of the show. I am a husband, a father of two beautiful sons, and I too work in the healthcare industry, specifically in the health information management end of things. So, with that being said, let's jump right into any updates on personal events. So I know, Goose, you got a lot going on. So won't you tell us what you got, as you alluded to, getting married and next couple months, what's it look like for you?
Yeah, so October 9th of this year, which is, I want to say less than like 50 days away, October 9th, 2021, I'll be getting married, getting hitched. Dude, just been super busy with work and then trying to manage that, like the personal life of trying to put a wedding together. We're not doing like a traditional wedding. We're doing like a little backyard wedding, which kind of seems to be like the trend now. But we're doing like a simple backyard wedding. So like as opposed to hiring a venue to do everything, we're doing everything ourselves. So just a lot of work, just trying to make sure everyone's coordinated on everyone's on the same page. So that's what we've been doing for the past like month. Me and Lauren, my future wifey, and dude, that's all. We've just been working, and like me being a barber, we're coming like to the beginning of back to school. So I'm like, and everyone's been on vacation. So we've been busy at the shop with vacation haircuts. The next few weeks, all the kids are going back to school. So we're super busy and super booked out. So like, I got to try to manage my time with work and at home and trying to like make sure everything balances out. Give Lauren that time so we can kind of work things out with the wedding planning, and then make sure I got time for myself, make sure I got time for the business. So just trying to spread myself all over the place, and then spend my time here in the podcast too. So it's like I just trying to like manage everything, and it's all time management. It's all like make sure you're being responsible, make sure you're booking your appointments with I got this time set up with the podcast. I got my time set up with my clients at work. We got our time set up with the vendors. Just make sure you're on point. Make sure we're being on time. And that right now, that's the most important thing. Just kind of make sure we show up for things, for the right things to happen at the right time. So nothing turns into a disaster. But yeah, that's what I've been doing in the past few months, and that's what currently what's going on right now with me.
Yeah. So two things there. Planning, right? So plotting everything out, time management, giving yourself space and time so you can accomplish, the short-term goals that you're setting out. And then also being, which we talked about over the weekend, communicating a lot as to what is going on, whether it's business, personal life, just being almost over communicating purposely, not in an obnoxious way, but just it almost leads to right into planning and organizing, right? And so if you know the game plan, your clientele or your fiance knows the game plan, or daughter, everyone's on the same page. So a lot of things there.
Yeah, I mean, and like that for me, that's huge. I based everything off of like kind of time management, like because I schedule appointments on a daily basis. I have a new client every 40 minutes, 45 minutes. I got to make sure I'm punctual for them because they're setting up appointments. They're probably squeezing it in. And if I'm running late, it can screw up their schedule. So like, I just try to be like punctual with everything. And then same thing, if I'm behind, communicate with them. Let them know, I'm running behind. So they can make arrangements. And then if they're going to be, if they're on lunch break and they're going to be running behind, they can let their job know, whatever. And that's just on a small like scale, but that goes with everything. Like just communicate, like you said, just communicate with everyone. And honestly, that's huge. My thing is like, I don't want people wasting my time, so I don't want to waste people's time. So I want to make sure everything's like we map stuff out, and then like us this past weekend, we have like we're going away in the next few weeks, little up the mountains, and we had a little meeting, and it was just like it wasn't like people were trying to take control. It was just like let's map out what we're going to do this weekend, so when we go out there, we're not standing around like, oh, what's next? What are we doing? It was like we mapped stuff out, and when we get there, it might not happen in the exact order that we mapped it out, but like at least we have like a sense of what's going on, what's going to happen, what's going on.
Absolutely,
and that's just huge. That's like that's a small thing, but like that's big in like everyday living.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll come back to the more detailed the wedding stuff too. Heck, what about you? Anything professionally or personally, family-wise?
Well, yeah, as Goose was talking about timing and scheduling and trying to follow through with everything going on, this past summer me and my wife, we were busy with the kids. I ended up being a coach for one of my daughters for softball, and we were never on the same page of things. So she ended up downloading this app. I forget what it's called. I want to say it's called Time Tree, where it's a calendar where both her and I share it. So anytime we have something planned, I get a text message and a notification on my end, and same thing where I know what she's set up for that day and for the time and what's going on. And then when I have something, I set it up on my calendar and it gets sent to her as a text message and it goes to her calendar. So we could see kind of what's going on. So now we know what's what, who's going where and who's got to be where, what time, and who's got work this week or vice versa. Or she'll say, like this past weekend, she had two events going on. She had Saturday, she had a softball meeting for Lainey, and then Sunday she had a baby shower. And I knew all that a week in advance because I was following through with the schedule and the calendar that her and I share. So it didn't work out at first because I was stubborn and I'm like, I don't need to listen to this or see this, whatever. But it works out because now I know instead of getting frustrated and angry, not that I'm an angry person, but just get like frustrated about like why we're not on the same page. Now I know I don't have to ask her. I can just go right on the app and it's there and it tells me, Lainey has this or Bella has driver's license test or Nova's going this place and vice versa. So it kind of like you said, without knowing and following up with each other, nothing's gonna be punctual and you're just gonna get frustrated and aggravated and nobody wants to be that way. So it was a big learning experience trying to maintain with the schedule thing, because I kept asking her what was going on, and when she found this app, it was just like it just made everything that much more easier to follow through, and now everything's just pretty much on there. It just makes life that much easier.
Thing, being on the same page with the calendar, and then also communicating, right? It's literally the same exact thing. So Heck, can you repeat the name of the app again?
Yeah, hang on one second. It's called TeiMoney.
TeiMoney. TRE.
TeiMoney, like TIME tree.
TREE.
Yes, TREE. So it's a pretty good app. So she sent me the link, like she texted to me, like as to share it, and then once I clicked on it, it downloaded the app on my phone, and that's it. I mean, it just goes back and forth.
Do you know if that's for more than one person? I mean, I'm sorry, more than two people?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe it's for a group.
You set up like your whole family, like everyone can have like your household. Like you'd have all the kids on the same page too that has cell phones and like where's what and who's what. And...
I'm not sure. Hang on one second. I'm not sure exactly. Yeah, I think it does have.
Like from there,
yeah,
you can invite someone to join that calendar.
Yeah, it says invite people to this calendar.
Wow.
There's an icon there, and it only has me and Jess right now. But I'm sure I can invite you guys on it, and we can be on the same calendar.
I don't know your personal stuff. I'm not going to a softball game.
Yeah.
I'm going to a softball game. Practice.
Gabe, you trying to go to a softball game,
dude? I was just curious, in case someone had like teenage kids or something like that they wanted everyone to be on the same page. It's kind of cool.
No,
yeah, it is actually.
I never heard that, and that's awesome. Only because, like, with me and Lauren working our schedules and we're all over the place, and then Ava, like, she doesn't live like full time with me, so that's kind of awesome. With like, we can map out like our weekends, and like, she can tell us what we're doing and like whatever. That's actually like pretty super dope. So like,
yeah, it worked out well because Jess would like give me. She would say the beginning of the week, "Oh, we have this, and that. You're going here, you're going there at certain times." And I'm like, oh, yeah. Come Wednesday, I'm like, what am I doing? She's like, I told you already. So then she gets frustrated because I'm not writing it down. And I'm thinking, yeah, I know it. And then I forget the times because there's so much going on. This way, she doesn't have to say nothing. I get the text message.
On top of, I've been to your house and you have a big old chalkboard and you guys write stuff on the chalkboard. Definitely just that chalkboard with all the notes on there.
But yeah, so, I mean, you guys all have been to my house. We use the old school method of the dry erase calendar.
Yeah, that little calendar, yeah.
I look at that every day and see what we have going on. But this is obviously a modern version of that to an extent. But yeah, it's right in the palm of your hand wherever you are. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, yep. The cool thing is, like, so you'll get a notification when the 15 minutes prior to the event happening. So, like, say at 7:00, you got to be at the PTO meeting for school. It'll tell you at 6:45, Kelly or your wife is going to be at the school or has a meeting at the school. So you'll get a text message and a banner goes across your screen telling you what's happening in the next 15 minutes. So you can't say you forgot because it's hitting you up 15 minutes beforehand.
Holding you accountable.
That's awesome because that's how I run the barbershop. I have an app. You download the app. And then you schedule your appointment. Whatever day you pick, the application has like a setting where 24 hours prior to your appointment, you get a text message saying, "Yo, Heck, you have a haircut tomorrow at 6:00, whatever." So that kind of gives you like a heads up where if things change last second, you can make arrangements. Like, all right, let me call the barber and let him know I can't make it, or all right, I'm going to make it. I got let me tell Jess I'm going to be there at 6:00 and I got something going on. Like it's being organized is the best. Like it's hard, but it makes things go so smooth.
So much easier. Yeah.
Absolutely. Cool. Gabe, what about you, man? Anything personally, professionally going on?
No, nothing too crazy. I mean, obviously this summer in general, it's a little easier to actually, get out and like do a little couple trips here, like down the shore and stuff like that. But nothing crazy events, obviously, other than the upcoming, especially Mikey's nuptials, I guess. But nothing like well, I do have like one of my friends is like they're like christening and stuff like that too, so we're just preparing for some of that stuff.
Nice. Getting back to some level of normalcy.
Yeah.
Actually able to like gather to some degree. Still can't do like the big old stuff, but at least you can still do some of those little events, even like if it's to a smaller scale.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, same thing. Kind of just keeping up with the kids, everything that they have going on. We got a ton of stuff going on in my professional career. All good, positive things, and then obviously with the podcast and the Blessed Lifestyle brand. There's just, running, there's a multiple moving parts that you're just trying to manage and actually do better than just managing, progressing or stepping up in each of those categories so that they too can grow, right? Sometimes you need to have that level of like maintenance where you're just maintaining whatever. But the Blessed Lifestyle brand just had its 3rd birthday. And so for 3 years, we're trying to grow that thing. What's that?
No, I said 3 years in. That's crazy.
Yeah, 3 years in. We're 5 years into the podcast, 3 years into the Blessed Lifestyle brand. Just so many moving parts. I've in the past year, I've gotten invited to multiple shows and podcasts to join them as a host, as a guest. As a special speaker or whatever it was. So we've just been having fun, man. Just trying to, as we just mentioned, trying to tap into some, normal events instead of everything kind of being via Zoom or whatever, just like over the phone or through a text. It's nice to get the live things in, and we're getting there. Things are opening up very slowly, but we got a couple events lined up that we're looking forward to go to. I just bought Phillies tickets for the family. It's going to be their last home game or for the regular season anyway. Hopefully we can get into Red October. So it's just like little things like that. I'm like, all right, we're going to book something. Finally, we're getting into that. And like you said, man, a couple trips to the shore, just having fun. It feels good too for that. Like after it's been like 18 months of kind of really not doing that much, outside the house anyway. We've done a lot, just not, nothing crazy. And then, in a couple of weeks, which sounds crazy, or next week, James starts school. So it's like, wow, we're here already. You know what I mean? So that's fun. And then like more exciting things like Goose was talking about is his wedding. So we're a part of it and just getting busy, man. It's down to the wire. Like he said, it's in about a month and some change. So Goose, I just want to talk a little bit more about the wedding, the planning. What was that process like for you? Because you're in the home stretch now. Any hiccups that you guys ran into? Any tips for anyone? And then heck, me and you, I guess, could talk about or anything we reflect on now thinking about it. Unless,
yeah.
Honestly, so we got engaged 2 years ago, and we were like, we set ourselves like with a time frame of a 2 year wedding within that time. Obviously, last year we hit the pandemic and everything was shut down. Like there was nothing. So we're like, all right, what do we do? Do we push it back another year? Do we so we actually started like when things started opening up I want to say for the most part, like last September, November or October, last September and October, we started looking at some venues and started like kind of doing our stuff for either this year or next year. And dude, there was like weird stuff going on. It was like some venues were like, yeah, we can get you right now. We could do it. You guys looking at October? Oh, we can do January right now, like in 2 months. We're like, what? Like weird. I'm like, yo, something must happen. Then booked out a year or two, So we're like, And then the one place we went to, they seemed kind of like, I don't want to put people out there, not that they're shady, but they were like, they wanted like a lot of money up front right away and at the same time, I'm a business owner and I know a lot of these businesses and organizations were shutting down or like declaring bankruptcy or like, we were scared. We were like, dude, we don't want to secure something and then that not happen and waste a lot of money. Like a wedding is like, you guys all know it's a lot of money. It's not just like
it's a good chunk of change. Yeah.
Yeah. So we decided we talked to one of our neighbors and which is Lauren, one of her cousins, like distant cousins. It's a family friend. We say family friend, whatever. It's her mother's cousin. And here in Bristol Borough, if you know about Bristol Borough, a small little town, and it's based on the Delaware River. So we have he has his house, an old colonial, like William Penn era, 1800s and early 1900 home on the Delaware River. And he's like, if you guys can't find anything, you can have it at my house and in my backyard. So me and Laura looked at each other. We're like, boom, there it is. We wait for him to leave. And we talked about it. And I'm like, Lauren, so he's offering it to us. Obviously, we were going to have like a more small, intimate wedding. And that's more of a private party. So like, that's more bound to happen than to have like a commercialized party at a venue, like big name or whatever. So we're like, we have more chances of this coming through than anything else. Dude, the next day, or probably that night, I think Lauren texted him right away. I was like, were you dead serious? Were you for real about that? Blah, 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 because we're really interested. He's like, absolutely. He's like, you guys are amazing. He's like, I love you guys, whatever you guys want. He's like, but just don't promote my property because I'm not doing no more of this. Like, it's just a one and done. Like, you guys, and that's it. Like, and I as a, owner of a home, you don't want people coming through. But anyway, so with that, all right, so now we have a backyard, a nice backyard on the river, beautiful, but it's a plain, clean slate. So now we got to, like, make it ours. We have to hire, like, a rental company. We got to rent, like, a big old tent. We got a rental company that's going to give us tables, tents, linens, like, all that stuff. And then we got to hire a catering company. Did my research. Me being a barber, I know a lot of people. Found someone that worked with us. Amazing catering company. We got that set. Then we need like flowers. Like we need a floral company. Then we have a photographer coming through, and then like, which is all those things are all on the outside, but like also when it comes to like at the bar scene, like the alcohol beverages, we have to purchase all that stuff on our own off the side, make sure we have the right amount. Like we don't, but yeah, and that was just our biggest thing, just like trying to like for both of us to come like to agree on things. Like, all right, I like this, no, I like that. I like this style, no, I like that style. Like, so I think it's obviously it is going to work out. I mean, we have like less than like I want to say 40 days left, 40 days away. Yeah, I don't know the count. My mom texts us everything, tells us the numbers, so she knows the countdown. But
so explain like how you guys figured out like the food and stuff like that.
So I have a client that comes to the barbershop and he owns his own catering company. Sat down, me and Lauren, I got his contact. Me and Lauren sat down with him, and we're like, so Lauren's family is like from the Italian descent, and we are Puerto Rican. So we're trying to like intertwine Italian food, American food, and Puerto Rican food together. And no lie, so this guy Jose, he's like the chef. He's the master chef of everything. So he's gonna cook everything, but he also owns a company too, the catering company. He was like, yo, I love this. He's like, we're going to do like a crazy infusion of all kinds of stuff. And that's huge right now. Like there's like all kinds of like, there's Asian infusion food now or restaurants. Like, so like he's going to mix all. So it's going to be like Italian, Puerto Rican, like just straight plain American, like all, dude, it's all going to be intertwined. So we're going to have a little bit of everything. So like that, to me, that was like, that just worked. So we got every like little major key of each, like, of each culture and we're going to put it together and it's going to be super awesome. Because I know like my friends, they're like, oh, is your mom going to cook rice and she's going to do this? Like, no, know, like my friends look forward to stuff like that,
Yeah.
and like being in like having to be in Puerto Rican, like having that culture, you like people are expected, so you have to kind of like have somewhat of a touch of it, not the whole thing doesn't have to be like that. And then same thing with the DJ. Like the DJ, we sat down, talked to him for like, dude, literally we sat down with him for like 2 hours. And we're like, we love modern day music, but we also need Spanish music, salsa, bachata, like a little reggaeton, and then we gotta go into like some hip hop or whatever. And then Lauren's like, yeah, I want some Bon Jovi and I need some this. So like he looked at us and he's like, you guys are putting me to work, but he can do it. And he's like, it's gonna be fun. So for these people, it's probably an experience too. They gotta mix all kinds of stuff, put it together, and make it happen for the night. So like, yeah, I think it's gonna be like a whirlwind of mixture of all kinds of stuff, and I think it's gonna be super dope. It's gonna be, if no one experiences it, it's gonna be different, I think.
Yeah, no, for sure. They it's funny talking about like the food and then the music. So for us, for me and Kelly, it was similar. Obviously, I'm Puerto Rican, she's Polish, and it was like, all right, so same thing for music. We need the Spanish stuff, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, and then we also need this, and it was like, oh my gosh, sitting there doing polka and whatever else. But same thing for like food. Like you want to accommodate, and you don't want one to overpower the other. So you play like this tricky line, or you cross like this like fun. It's actually kind of funny, but it's very interesting. Like with the wedding stuff, combining the two flavors or combining the two styles or maybe heritages. But I think if you, like we were saying, like if you get creative, you could definitely have fun with it.
Yeah, that's
with that too.
So when we had like a little photo shoot, like an engagement type photo shoot. So it was like we had an idea that we already knew we were having it at like along the river. So we had like a photographer that met us up at like a park. And it was like in the woods. So most of our pictures from that was like woodsy, a lot of greenery. It was like a lot of like just out in the field kind of thing. And like that kind of fits like what we're going to be. Like we're going to be in backyards, be like river and water. And there's going to be like a lot, same thing. There's an island that's going to be behind us with a lot of trees. So it's just like, we just stuck with that theme and we're just running with it.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
that's going to be awesome.
That's all. Heck, is there anything you remember or doing it? Do you remember any of that?
Oh, heck.
Yeah, man.
Heck said he's gonna pull up to my wedding in a canoe of the river.
Yeah, I like to come into the weddings, showing off some sort of transport. Because for my wedding, I took someone's Ferrari out of them. I told them to get out of the Ferrari, and I sat down in their Ferrari and took a picture in it, and it looked like I drove up to the location in the Ferrari, which is pretty dope.
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah. So
we were outside. The photographer was literally taking pictures of the groomsmen and the groom. And as we're walking back towards the venue, like we were outside, I should say, as we're walking back, there's kind of like that carport drive-through area. This guy, I don't know what he was doing. He was there to drop off an envelope. I have no idea. But he kind of just ran in. Like it was something really quick what he was doing. And we're like, oh my God, the car's beautiful, blah, blah, blah. And the guy came out and was like, whatever. I think the photographer is like, can we take a picture of you? It started off with you standing next to it.
Yeah, I asked the photographer, I said, can you take a picture of me? Yeah, that's what it was. I asked the photographer, I was like, can you take a picture of me like standing next to it? And then the guy came out and he goes, dude, you want to go inside of it or something like that? He goes, you want to take a picture inside? I was like, really? Like I was like shocked and surprised that this dude is like allowing me to sit inside his car. And the photographer looked at me. He's like, go ahead, jump in. I opened the door, also ever careful opening this door and sitting down, also ever so careful too. I'm like, yo, this is insane. So yeah, our photographer was pretty cool. So what we had was, it was a husband and wife. They knew my wife. Well, they knew my wife's mother and father at that time. And the wife was taking pictures of all the bridesmaids and the bride, and the husband was taking pictures of us guys. So we were all outside, just, we had our cigars. We were out by the river, right on the Delaware, taking pictures, and just the guy was just so finesse with the taking pictures of natural reactions of us just standing around, like conversing. And it looked so like it was magazine material. Like I look back at the pictures, I'm like, wow, this is like really, really good. Like I'm glad we ended up getting this couple for our photography, because they just took amazing pictures. And I mean, and that's what you want for your wedding, right? You want something to go back to and just be like, wow, this was an awesome day. Like the pictures made everything so like every time you look at the pictures, it comes back to life all over again. Like it's so surreal that this was your wedding day, like your special day. And this couple definitely completed that for us for our pictures and stuff. So DJ is key. You got to have that DJ to know how to play the mix, vibe off the crowd, and know what's going on. Because without that, man, your party's going to be whack. And I don't want anyone's wedding to be whack. So if you got a good DJ, you got to make sure that he's definitely vibing off of everyone else, because that keeps the party going. And that makes a memorable time, because to this day, we can still talk about Jim's wedding. We talk about my wedding. There's other couple weddings that we still speak about because of the DJ and the vibe that we all brought to this place, right?
Yeah.
It all depends on who's at your wedding as well. You know what I mean? Good energy, good vibes. You want everything to be a good time, no drama, just having a blast so that everyone remembers it. And that's what we're hoping for Goosey's, man. Goose, I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you and Lauren. I want this wedding to be another memorable one. Mommy's excited for you guys. Like, I just want this thing to be another top-notch wedding in the books for us.
Awesome stuff. We'll switch it up a little bit. Let's talk about, going back to school. What was one grade that you guys remembered or think fondly of going back to school? And then we'll talk about, our kids and stuff like that. Do you have like a favorite?
For me, it was like, so here in Bristol, we go from kindergarten to 6th grade is in one school, and then 7th grade to 12th is in another school. So it's like the high school, 7th to 12th. Usually there's like 6th to 9th is middle school, whatever. Our town's so small, they just have 2 separate schools. My biggest thing was going from 6th grade to 7th grade. So for one, I was a late bloomer. So when I went to 7th grade, I was still in 4th grade. And but I swear I was like a grown man though. Like, all right, I'm in high school now. I'm in 7th grade. I'm in high school though. Like, I go to Bristol High. Like, for me, that was just like a memorable thing. Like, all right, I'm not going to school where my little brothers go. I mean, I got my own school now. Like, I just thought that was like, for me, that was like a big step. I'm like, I'm with the big boys. Even though it's just like any other ordinary, like, Bristol High does a good job with separating like the middle school kids and the high school kids, but it's just, you're all in one building.
Yeah. So so for anyone who's not familiar, the building has, obviously, like any other school, I'm sure, has separate wings, and the one wing is literally dedicated. So it's called Bristol Senior Junior High School. But anyway, so junior high is it has like a 1st and 2nd floor, and it's literally on one wing. And so the 7th and 8th graders is which they consider junior high. It's kind of interact with each other, but even that, like the first level, I think is 2nd grade. Is the first level is 7th grade, and the second floor is 8th grade, or vice versa, whatever it is. But it's cool because you are in the building with the actual high school. It's on another wing, but you use the same cafeteria, the same gym as them, all the other amenities as the high school does. So that was huge for everyone. I mean, that was like you felt like a grown man when you went from little elementary school to the high school. So yeah, that was.
And then you saw the seniors like as grown men, and here meanwhile, when you graduated, you weren't no grown man.
It's dropped off by our mom, and we have the seniors just pulling up in their cars, just driving to work, like or driving to school. It was just, but yeah, that's our small town though. That's our little Bristol.
Yeah, that's cool. One of my favorite.
My favorite grade was My favorite grade was senior year. It was just a fun year. I mean, obviously it was my last year at the high school, but it was fun. I knew a lot of the teachers, so I always would go around talking to all the teachers and stuff like that. Just being a just my personality, I guess, just talking around with them and stuff like that. But it was like one of those things where I had like a group of kids, boys and girls, that we would just hang out with after school. We would do things together. We'll go to the movies and we'll go to car washes and we'll all wash our cars together and stuff like that. Like it was actually like a very fun time. Like I don't know, I don't know how anyone else done it, but it was just cool just to be close with all these people for the last year of high school when you're growing up with them. Some of them you didn't hang out with them until your senior year because obviously different reasons. I don't know. I mean, you never spoke to that person until your senior year or whatever. So it was cool. And then it was cool to see like the freshmen looking up to you like, oh, hey, I know him. Like, it's always cool to know a senior when you're in ninth grade or whatever like that. So it was cool. 12th grade would always be a memorable time. We went to Ocean City, Maryland for our school trip. It was like a handful of us that ended up going out there and stuff like that. So I had fun.
Heck, when you on the homecoming court?
Oh yeah, yes. I was on homecoming court. I went out and got my John Travolta shirt. This thing was silver with the big butterfly collars coming out. Now, mind you, this is all 1999, and I thought I was John Travolta from '79. That thing did not work out so well. Big baggy pants with the butterfly collar. Yeah, it was silver too. Unfortunately, I didn't win.
That's awesome.
Yeah, for me, it was also my senior year. I just remember the anticipation with the same things. I mean, it's so funny because you think you're all tough or whatever. Really, you're delicate, right? You're like, oh my gosh. At the same time, you're thinking, after this, I have to make a decision on what I'm doing for the rest of my life, regardless of what it was. And it was just like, but there was so much buildup, whether it was family, whether it was a school, whether it was your friends. It was just a culmination of all that. I had a job going into my senior year, so you had like a little bit of money, and you just did fun things, man. We're hanging out with friends, going to movies, going out to dinner, whatever it was, just hanging out. And then it was like the same thing. I was very active in sports, so we're playing, baseball, basketball, so on the golf team. So you had literally your whole life was just kind of squished together into this like small time period, and it was awesome. And I was like 4 years behind Heck, 5 years behind Goose, and it was just such a cool thing. I don't know. We definitely had fun with it, and I can only speak for myself. Like me and my group of friends, everyone was kind of on the same page on what we wanted to do, and we were all headed, for good grades, stay in sports, good grades, and go to school, go to college after that. So I loved my senior year, very, very much. It was cool, and I too was on the homecoming court, and that was funny. That was interesting. So our parents they were on vacation or something. I think they went on a cruise or something. So it was a little weird. But shout out to my Aunt Merlene, who was there, who like took me to the mall and went to she like literally spotted me with like a brand new suit and everything. I didn't know what to do. I honestly didn't know if I was going to get picked. And that's actually what happened. And while everything that all went down, I had to get all this stuff, and my parents were away. So, but anyway, so that was awesome. That was one of the things I look forward to. And I think again, because I worked, I was able to buy my own. So the transition I would say is like get school supplies and buying like, clothes, sneakers. I was able to buy my own stuff and not have to, or think about like my parents or whatever. So that was cool. Gabe, what about you, man?
Gabe, what grade are you in, Gabe?
I'm in 42nd grade. But no, I guess kind of like along you guys said, like the transit. Well, I had the school I went to for, I guess, middle school, whatever it was a K to 8. So I started there in 3rd grade, but I went there to 8th grade. So it was like, of course, the transition from high school, which we always had. In the neighborhood where I lived at, we took the school bus, so you had to like a drop off spot, whatever, for school for that. But then transitioning that to high school, which it was still in the same area, but I had to take like 2 SEPTA buses to get there.
Oh wow.
And then I mean, it's a relatively smaller, I guess, middle school, whatever you call it, which obviously a whole school fit, 9 grades in there, to high school, which had like 1,300 children, whatever it was. And seeing that, like that dramatic, like, where you mostly saw everybody. I stuck with most of the same people from 3rd to 8th grade for the most part. But then a transition of now you have 1,000 plus people that you're constantly switching different classes. So it was like a big dramatic change. My sister, fortunately, I mean, she was in high school too. So I was like, I was able to have like a semi easier transition, but even like still like, totally different grades. So it was like, you don't see each other all day long. I think we might have like somehow that first year like overlapped with like the same lunch or something, but that's definitely a crazy change. But like towards the end of high school, it was like I worked in a computer lab, but somehow I don't know where I got picked for like to go to like a study abroad program. So it was like in between, I think 11th and 12th grade. It was like we did some stuff like over the summer where we started the transition of like doing some of those, like we had like meetings and stuff too. Stuff wound up falling apart, like just because of like the overseas, like there was stuff happening, whatever. So like the program wound up not happening, but it was cool actually going through some of those transitions and actually being picked for some like extracurricular stuff like that.
That's crazy. I did not know that. That's awesome. Very cool.
And I got to actually like I got close with like actually like the upper like the president, geez Louise, what's the principals and like our like class chairman. Some of these are like actually got to know them on like a little personal level because of like some of those other things. Even just because working in the computer lab, I had to almost I was like the school IT essentially. So we had to travel different classes, so I got to know all different teachers and stuff, and my way around the school. And
that's awesome.
Cool. That's awesome.
My junior and senior year, I was actually a student delegate, and I was basically you're the representative. I was a male representative for our school at school board meetings. So I went to school board meeting. It was crazy because initially I didn't know I knew I was going to be a part of it. I didn't know I had to actually attend the actual meetings.
Oh, wow.
And so there, and I'm so happy I did. But when I was there, it's kind of the same thing. I got to meet kind of like the who's who in the area, the town, people involved. I saw how things worked, and got you get like that inside scoop, and almost it personalized some of the teachers.
Okay.
If they were a part of this group. Definitely the principals. So you had the elementary school principal and the high school principal. This all sitting at this huge round executive table. And here I am just like kind of giving them updates on what's going on at the school, at the high school level and what we look forward to and, thanking them for, helping us with X, Y, and Z events or initiatives. But it was interesting because then you saw them in town. And it gave you like almost like that personal, because I've only prior to that saw them as a principal or a teacher.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But then you kind of were in the boardroom with these guys, and it almost gave more meaning to their roles. And you're like, wow, they're like very committed to what they do and our town. I mean, that's what I got out of it. So it was pretty cool to be part of something like that. So I agree. Once you get like the inside scoop and you get to know your teachers or whatever, Gabe, in your case, the principal and everyone putting those things together, extracurriculars they're huge, especially at that very impressionable age.
Yeah, no, 100%.
All right. So for one of the latter ends of the topics, what are some of the things, Goose, I know obviously you're looking forward to your wedding, but if there's anything else outside of that you want to mention, or if anyone else has anything, what are you looking forward to within the next year, 6 months to 1 year out? Anything anyone wants to,
So for us, we had like I said, me and Lauren, we had like a 2-year engagement plan. So then our plan was obviously stack out some money for the wedding, and then at the moment we're renting an apartment. We live in a duplex, so after the wedding, we have a whole nother year of our lease. So our goal is after this wedding to stack up more money for this whole year for us to purchase like our first home together. So we're trying to like next year or so or whatever, or if it all makes sense, the market and all that stuff, for us to buy a house in the next year, maybe year and a half. And that's like after this wedding, that's like my next goal. Like just focus on that. Just like I said, study the market, see what's right, kind of find where we want to be, which I already know, and just that's our next move, is to find our home. And obviously, like I'm 41, so like our next home, 99.9% would be like our forever spot. So like I'm just trying to weigh my options, but like I said, I kind of have everything mapped out in a sense where I know where we want to be. I know what area. You just gotta find something that makes sense and make sure everything's what we want, and then that's like the next year and a half. That's like our goal after next month, after October 1st or after October 9th. Just I'm not wasting time. We just stay straight focused on that. So yeah.
Cool. Heck, what about you?
I just have the kids. They're getting ready for school. I have a kindergartner, she's super excited for it. I got a second grader, a sixth grader. I'm sorry, and then I got my oldest Bella. She's a junior. She's already driving. We just picked up a car for her. It's pretty insane to have a child that's driving and it's kind of independent because they depend on you so much, and it's so weird for them to be like, "Hey, I'll be back. I'm gonna go here. Do you guys want anything?" Like, I look at Jess, my wife. I'm like, "Damn, that's something we say to them, like, because we're stepping out to go to the store or something." So it's kind of crazy. So I just look forward just to enjoy this time with them because I mean, time flies. Bella is 16 years old, and time with her was just obviously it's fast. So I just plan on just having fun with them, man, and keep it moving with them. Whatever they want to do, dancing, softball, whatever it is they want, I'm back there to support them all the way. Got Phoenix growing up; he's already 2. See what his crazy self gets into because he's into everything. He wants to ride quads. He wants to ride bikes already. He wants to jump off the ladder for the pool.
Two quads.
Yeah, oh my gosh, he starts writing on himself, thinking they're tattoos. So I gotta watch. He's all over the place. So yeah, my thing is just let my kids grow up, watch my kids grow, and just plan accordingly.
Love it. Gabe, what about you?
So I mean, nothing crazy like coming up, but I mean, so just looking forward to like I guess like the fall because it seems like it's been a weird summer or whatever. I don't know if that makes any sense, but just kind of looking forward to like the little cooler weather and just kind of chilling out that way.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So for me, same thing. Excited for my my son's step. He's going into second grade, and I'm just excited because I genuinely remember second grade very vividly. Because a lot of things happened during that time period. So I'm very excited for him. I'm nervous for him. But at the same time, I just asked him tonight at dinner, and he's like, I'm ready. I'm ready to meet my new teacher. I'm ready to meet new friends. So super cool. He has like such a laid back view about it. And it's just fun watching them go through that. And Cade's moving up in the next part of preschool, and he really just kind of like goes with the flow. He's just like, yeah, all right, whatever you put me, as long as I have my lunch. You know what I mean? Really, he's just kind of slow. Other things is just sharpening up on some my knowledge on investments. So just want to make several moves throughout the next year and a half, and then honestly grow. Me and Heck had this conversation. Me, Heck, Kel had this conversation exponentially. Really sharpening on my marketing. When it comes to the podcast and the Blessed Lifestyle brand. We have things coming up, but I think there's this marketing component that I really have to put together, or I just don't want to miss in that sector, which looks like I'm going to have to. You need to hire actual professional help, or a grade above the help that we're getting. So I'm looking forward to. It's all learning experiences and really growing. Myself, and the last thing for a much more personal thing is growing obviously the relationships of those around me, between my wife and myself, but the relationship between myself and God is I want to take meditation to another level. We had several guests on this year that all of their paradigm shifts began with meditation. And I've touched in, with meditation here and there, but never kind of kept it going more than a month or two. I pray all day basically and pray on a regular basis, but taking meditation to the next level is something that I truly want to dive into and explore and have fun with. So other than that, I'm good. But if we could all let's just go around the horn one last time. Goose, we'll start with you. Just one out of your experience within the last year, and everything that's going on, and all your experiences combined, with one life lesson you want to share with our listeners.
Like I said in the very, very beginning, like time. Appreciate your time. Like before like 2 years ago, before the pandemic, I was just working, grinding, whatever, nonstop, like just doing what I do. And like the United States, everything shut down. And I was kind of frustrated, but when I had that time off for myself, I realized I'm like, I need to slow down. I need to take time for myself. So I'm like, since a year ago, everything reopened up little by little, slowly but surely. So I just started taking one Wednesday a month, and it would be like a Wednesday in the middle of the month off from work. Like, and I did that for like the past 6 months, and it's just like, dude, like your focus is straight, like, right, you want to succeed, you want to do this, you want to do that, whatever. But then, like, at a certain point, you got to stop and slow down. Like, look at yourself. Like, are you doing this healthy? Are you doing this like mentally, like, healthy? Or are you just going like a madman on a track, like a train? And like, so I'm like I said, as I'm getting older, I'm starting to like realize certain things that I didn't do. And I got to take care of myself and like realize my health is more important than anything. So, like, yeah, I just been what I've learned the past year is like take care of myself more. Obviously, the whole health issue with everyone getting sick and stuff. Now I'm more conscious about it. So, just eating proper, a little bit better, taking more your nutrients that you need for your body, taking them in different ways more than so before. I wasn't doing any of that before, just coffee and water and just on the run. So now it's just more, I'm being more cautious with like my physical self, my body, and then my mental health as well, because that's like huge. So like and I've heard about it, I've heard people talk about it, but I've never like kind of experienced it until like the past year. So yeah, like for me, it's like just slow it down, physically take care of yourself, mentally take care of yourself.
Awesome. Heck, what about you? One life recommendation for the listeners?
I would say appreciate everyone around you, and don't take life for granted. Appreciate everything and everyone. It's just one of life lessons, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you're like, dang, I wish I would have done this, or dang, I wish I would have said something to this person or whatever. And then, it is what it is, but appreciate everything around you.
Love it. Gabe, what about you, man?
Yeah, like, I guess ditto what everyone said too, but I guess just going with everything the past year is like, you have to be flexible with everything too, because you try to stick so much to like certain schedules and everything happening, you're gonna drive yourself crazy. It's like that kind of goes into like mental health. Like you're just gonna go wild because trying to like make things happen so much, especially with things can get so chaotic very easily, very quickly. So I was like, just kind of like go with the flow, and you can figure it out as you go.
I love it. So for me, it's patience in God's timing. So combination of what everyone's saying, we're like madmen, you're in your 20s and 30s, you're just like flying through everything, wanting to crush every goal, crush out all the X, Y, and Z. And sometimes that comes with you accidentally, rushing things. And you're like, why was I rushing this result or this goal? But the things where I've waited on God's timing and prayed on it, worked hard, but waited on the right timing. And if it's, like I said, God's will, that's the best advice I can give to anyone at this time. because it's currently what the last several years have produced for me, and it's less stress when you wait on God's timing instead of trying to force life yourself. So there you have it. All right, so last thing is, how can people connect with you? Your IG accounts or any other thing you want to plug?
So for me, it's I have the barbershop account, which is Miguel's Riverside Barbershop on through Instagram. And that's honestly that's probably like the only platform that I use. So yeah, you can just connect with me there. Shoot me like a DM, or if you can just love one of my pictures or whatever. It's all barber for me, like haircuts and stuff like that, and little things of my personal life in between. But it's more that platform all worked, like barbershop stuff.
Yo, so you mentioned that you have an app. How if someone wants to book an appointment with you or one of your other barbers, how do they do that?
So the app, obviously through Instagram, I have like a link on my Instagram page. But so you can go in the App Store, the Apple, Google, just go into the App Store and it's Miguel's Riverside Barbershop, and it'll pop up. It'll just honestly, it's a basic. My logo is basic. It says Miguel's Riverside Barbershop, has like the eyes, like the barber pole. Download the app, and then I have 3 barbers at the moment, so you can see it's myself, Angelo, Romeo. You can click on either person who you suggest or you want, and it'll show what's available for that person. There's also a button which says first available, so it'll go to any one of us, whoever's first available at that time. And it's very simple. It's easy. Like I said, just set up an appointment that works best for you. You get a 24-hour notification. There's access to, if you have to cancel, let us know. Or if something on our end is we have to cancel, we'll contact you and let you know. It's very simple. I try to make it easy for everyone, and that's the best way. It's just downloading the app and just do an appointment for the barbershop. Like, that's the easiest, simplest way for all of us.
Awesome. Heck, what about you?
All right. I mainly use Instagram, so I can be reached at on Hector709. You'll see photos of me, myself, my kids, my family. You get a little inside scoop of all 15 of my kids. It's really not 15. I got 5 kids. I got 4 beautiful girls and a handsome little fella. Beautiful wife. You can see everybody there. If you want to follow me, request, and show some love, and I'll follow back.
Awesome. Gabe, what about you?
So, if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's G Rivera 1183.
Awesome. I'm at my Instagram is at Mr. Jimmylee Velez, and for Rotated Views, it's at Rotated Views on IG, and for the Blessed Lifestyle brand, it's at Blessed Life BL3, the number 3, SSED Life, LIFE. So that's where you can find us. The websites are all the same, literally blessed.com, rotatedviews.com, and connect, reach out. We'll holler back. We like to end our shows with quotes, and the first one is by Susan Fales-Hill. If you're too comfortable, it's time to move on. Terrified of what's next? You're on the right track. The second one by Martin Luther King Jr. You don't need to see the whole staircase, just take the first step. Around the Horn, in this episode, the crew covers topics that range from personal/professional life, family matters, current events, future goals/initiatives, and much more. We wrap the episode up with quotes from Susan Fales-Hill and Martin Luther King Jr.
Awesome. Guys, thanks again for joining us. The Rotated Views podcast was produced for self-development purposes. Huge shout out to our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by the Blessed Lifestyle brand. That is BL3SSED.com. Also sponsored by The Motivation Files Unleashed. This motivational mixtape will be your fuel for success, available on all platforms. Guys, don't forget to visit the website, JimmyleeVelez.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Rotated Views. If you have any inquiries or questions, email us at info@JimmyleeVelez.com. On behalf of myself and the rest of the crew, we wish you massive success. Stay blessed.